Royal Enfield is on fire lately, and while other brands are suffering from declining sales, this Indian company is expanding and appears intent on taking over the big bike market around the world. In the last decade, Royal Enfield introduced the Himalayan, the 650cc twins, the Interceptor and Continental GT, the Scram, the new line of 350cc motorcycles with the Meteor, Classic, and Hunter, the 650cc Super Meteor Cruiser, and the new Himalayan 450, the company's first foray into liquid-cooled engines. All of these bikes are serious, desirable, and very reasonably priced, which probably has the other motorcycle brands around the world worriedly looking over their shoulders. Truthfully, although Royal Enfield seems like a relatively new arrival on the scene, the company is the oldest continuously produced motorcycle brand in the world, having been around for 122 years, 2 years longer than a certain American company. And being situated in India, the largest motorcycle market in the world, RE is projecting to sell over 900,000 motorcycles in 2023. That's more than Harley, KTM, BMW, Ducati, and Triumph combined. And you would think that with all this activity, Royal Enfield would take a break and rest on its laurels for a bit, but you would be wrong, because here comes the Shotgun 650, and man, I like it. For all the deets, stay tuned, and if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with friends. Alright, if you think this is just a differently styled Super Meteor 650, you are wrong. This motorcycle does have the same engine, the air-cooled 46 horsepower and 39 pound-feet of torque, 270-degree crankshaft parallel twin, and gearbox 6 speeds, but pretty much everything else is new. The front wheel is 18 inches instead of the Super Meteor's 19, and the rear has a radius of 17 inches to the Super Meteor's 16. And these changes put more weight on the front of the Shotgun 650. Another thing that drops the front and raises the rear is the suspension, which is shorter than the Super Meteor up front, 4.7 inches of travel, but a bit longer in the rear, 3.5 inches. Spring preload and the twin shocks is the only adjustment available. The frame on the Shotgun is a cool-looking exposed steel tube unit, and the engine that also powers the Interceptor, Continental GT, and Super Meteor is as attractive as ever. The bike is shorter than the Super Meteor, has a steeper rake, and a taller 31.3-inch seat height. With a higher seat, the foot pegs are mounted more under the rider without sacrificing legroom, making for a standard rather than a cruiser riding position. The fuel capacity is 3.6 gallons or 13.6 liters, and the wet weight is 529 pounds. Not light by any means, but not overly heavy either. The brakes are bi-brake and ABS with a 320mm disc up front and a 300mm one out back, and should be plenty strong due to the steel braided lines that come standard on this motorcycle, a nice touch. The headlight and gauge cluster are the same as the Super Meteor, and the Shotgun pairs with a phone app to provide map navigation and handy service reminders, as well as a locator service so you know the whereabouts of your motorcycle at all times. Finally, there is a USB charging port for your convenience. And one more clever feature that caught my attention was the rear seat option offered with the bike. In most of the promo pictures, you see the clean solo seat look with what appears to be a tractor seat. However, you can actually bolt on a subframe that can either serve as the base for a luggage rack or for a passenger saddle. So if you're touring or carrying a passenger, you throw that on, but when you're wanting to go lighter, you can pull off the seat and the whole subframe with the removal of 4 easy bolts for that clean custom look. In addition to this, Royal Enfield is offering a wide range of accessories to go with the Shotgun right out of the gate, so you can personalize it to your needs. So what to make of this bike? I have to say, as much as I like the Super Meteor, I like the Shotgun 650 better. It's not quite a classic British standard like the Interceptor 650, but it's also not a cruiser like the Super Meteor. The taller seat enables a more central foot peg position, which allows the rider to sit higher and lean into the wind and to stand up over bumpy terrain, something that is difficult on most cruisers. At the same time, the Shotgun is more substantial looking than the Interceptor and Continental GT and seems to have the road presence of a cruiser. Because it's a bit taller than a Super Meteor and about the same weight, the Shotgun may be a bit more top heavy, so shorter or smaller riders may want to go with the Super Meteor instead. I also have always liked larger rear wheels on classically styled motorcycles, and the 18-17-inch wheel combination on the Shotgun looks good to me. Personally, I find larger rear wheels produce the most aesthetically pleasing lines and profiles on these classic motorcycles. The Shotgun reminds me of my old Harley-Davidson Sportster Roadster, and I really enjoy the unique look of that motorcycle. This bike incorporates the styling cues of the 500 and 350cc Bullet and Classic, which are perhaps its closest ancestors, and some of the best looking bikes in Royal Enfield's lineup. It is a truly unique motorcycle straddling the standard and cruiser world in just the right proportions. So Royal Enfield is making good use of its 650cc parallel twin, as well they should. It is a beautiful and well-performing engine. Personally, if it's my money, I would still get the Interceptor 650 because I'm partial to lightness, and that bike weighs 480 pounds wet, 49 less than the Shotgun. But the Shotgun would definitely be my second choice in Royal Enfield's 650cc lineup. I dig the look and attitude of this bike and would love to see Royal Enfield eventually expand and offer a 1000 or 1100cc Shotgun and Super Meteor. Then look out Harley-Davidson. I am honestly astounded by all the new models being introduced by Royal Enfield these days, and the fact that they're able to bring these to market for such reasonable prices. Brands like Harley and Triumph, which can only dream of Royal Enfield's sales numbers, should watch carefully because this Indian company is liable to eat their lunch. So what do you think of this motorcycle? Which style of bike appeals to you the most? The classic British standard like the Interceptor, the American cruiser like the Super Meteor, or the in-between classic like the Shotgun? Are you likely to go looking for one of these at your local Royal Enfield dealer? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Ride safe, and may the spokes be with you.